So DICE updated the recoil on a couple weapons, so we're going to be testing them out pre and post. This is the M250 before the patch. Just testing long range, so they lessen the overall recoil but increase the randomness of the recoil. Supposedly they're not supposed to be as good at longer range, so M250 is pretty good at 50 and 70 meters. Just doing 3 tests just to get it as little variation as possible. So this is going to be post. So seems still pretty close there. This is after the patch. Still able to full auto 70 and 50 pretty easily. So no real change there in my opinion. This is the NVO before the patch. Jumps around quite a bit there, so can't really full auto 70, but 50 meters no problem. We're going to try 3 times just so you can get used to recoil and get a better plot there. So again, 50s no problem, but 70 is a bit jumpy. So yeah, got a burst 70, 50s, all right. And then this is going to be after the patch. So that's actually better. 70 no problem there. So yeah, it jumps around a little bit there, but I think that's actually better than before the patch. This was supposed to be a nerf overall. They're not supposed to be as effective at long range, but that's actually better in my opinion. RPKM, same thing. This is before the patch. So yeah, 70 meters, a bit bad there, but I also don't have a whole lot of attachments on this. It's only level 5, so with the right attachments it can be a lot better, but this is what I have to work with, but still pretty good. Still able to full auto 50 and 70, but sometimes you're going to have to burst depending on that recoil. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then this is after the patch. So it jumps around a little bit there, but still no problem on those long range targets. Yeah, that actually seems even better there. Yeah, I would say that's an improvement too. SG553, this one they said is going to have the biggest difference. So yeah, 70 meters a little bit difficult. Even 50 meters you're going to have to burst a little bit. This is before the patch. Same thing there. So going to have to burst 50 and 70 with the SG553. But you could probably get full auto sprays every now and then, but that recoil takes it off a bit. And this is going to be after the patch. So you can see a jump, but it still stays on target, so that's actually easier to hit your shots. Again, full auto, 50 and 70, no problem. This one was supposed to be the hardest hit by the nerf, but that seems better to me. That's way better. The soar now, before the patch. So again, jumps around a little bit, but I also don't have all the attachments either, so still pretty accurate. So 70 meters, 50 meters, full auto spray there, no problem. Again, no problem there. And then this is going to be after the patch. So yeah, jumps around a little bit there, but could also be just the first time shooting, going in fresh. That's why I'm trying it 3 times just to get used to the recoil, but that's pretty accurate there. Again, accurate there as well. So here's the patch notes for the weapon adjustments they made. Reduced recoil magnitude, but increased recoil variation on the M250, NVO, RPK, SG553, and SOAR 300. These weapons now perform less effective at long range, with the SG receiving the most noticeable adjustment. So I figured it could be either a net positive or negative, depending on how much they reduce the recoil magnitude versus how much they increase the recoil variation, but it's supposed to make them less effective at range, especially the SG553, but based on my testing, they're either about the same or actually better, especially the SG. The SG is way better, in my opinion. Before the patch, couldn't really full auto the 70 and 50 meter targets to have to burst there, but now I can full auto and hit the shots. There's still some variation there, but the shots still land on target. So, but I think it's a net buff for all of them. They all seem either around the same or slightly better or much better. So interesting that they meant it as a nerf, but based on my experience, it's all net positive. So yeah, let me know down in the comments if you're experiencing the same thing, if you think the nerf is actually a buff or if it actually makes it harder for you to hit your shots, because based on my limited testing, it makes it easier in my opinion. But yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.